So today we're going to talk about some patch notes that just came through for August 20th, where it looks like they actually went in and they fixed the 12 gauge deputy on the underbarrel for the Famas. They also fixed the fall off damage for the underbarrel shotgun. So they've done a couple different things. They clamped the damage, so you're not going to be able to get that one shot kill. But then in addition to that, they did put the range to the appropriate amount. So that's pretty straightforward. We're going to take a look at the Bruen. I was actually able to test it. We'll be able to see the comparison of what they actually changed, because this is the second nerf that came through. In the previous one, I kind of broke down what the change was between pre-nerf and then the actual nerf. And then now this is a secondary nerf, which I kind of expected because it was still strong and maybe just borderline overpowered. Now it's definitely taking a hit and it'll be very noticeable in game. And we'll break that part down. We're going to look at the recoil because that was changed. Luckily, I just did a breakdown of what the recoil looked like, so we'll be able to see that side-by-side comparison. ISO, it looks like there were adjustments made there. Pretty straightforward, and we'll take a look at that comparison and how I tested that. And then the 725 got a small increase to ADS time, so it's a little bit slower. So I basically nerfed it 3 different ways. Small decrease to movement speed, which shotguns typically have good mobility. Reduce close lethal damage. So they're basically nerfing that one to the ground. And then they fixed for an exploit, and then they removed the voiceover line from high alert that they just added into the game in the season 5 update. So overall, we're going to focus on the 2 main things that changed, which was the Bruen and then the ISO. If you do enjoy the video or learn something new, please do me a favor, hitting the like button. Goal on today's video is 2,500 likes. If you're brand new, looking to find your way back for more Call of Duty content, make sure you are subscribed with notifications on. On top of that, my Gfuel code is 30% off until the 21st. So if you're looking to try out a new flavor, you can do one of the sampler things, or just go ahead and restock up on a tub if you already know what flavors you like. Let's go ahead and get into the comparison here. So this is the side-by-side comparison of what actually happened with the Bruen. This was the original Bruen. This was the recently nerfed Bruen. And then this is how it was nerfed today. First one, they actually addressed the damage drop-off, which we saw there previously. It did feel a little bit weaker, but these little boxes that I've kind of traced around are the ones that are going to be the difference here. So before, you used to be able to get a chest shot damage multiplier that kind of added a little bit extra damage. That means that it's always going to be 9 shots to kill up close unless you mix in headshots. Same thing at the medium range. So it's always 9 shots to kill in these various ranges, and the same headshot damage here as far as being able to get 6 shots if you only land headshots. And then there's the damage drop off here, where it's going to go from 11 shots, which it was previously, down to 12, and the headshots are still 8. So when you combine this, these are the 2 areas where the time to kill, it's adding an extra bullet, which doesn't really sound like a lot, but if you were 100% accurate, it wouldn't really be a big difference. But most people do miss shots here and there just because that's how the game works. You don't hit everyone at 150 meters with 100% of your bullets. So there is a little bit where you have to add an extra bullet in there where people might be able to actually have a chance to get around a corner. So this doesn't nerf it to the ground, but it does make it significantly worse to a point where most people are just going to probably jump on the kilo because it's going to be a little bit more consistent in what they're used to. So that's where that part came in. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the recoil. All right, so luckily I did do the comparison of the recoil patterns. These were the original recoil patterns that we tested a couple weeks ago when it did get nerfed, and we did a full Bruen guide breaking down the various attachments. You can see kind of how this one goes up a little bit, kind of curves a little bit left, and then goes back up. When we're using a balanced class setup, which is the typical one that most people use in Warzone, with the longest barrel, monolithic, tac laser, VLK, and a 60 round mag, you can see it kind of does the exact same thing, but obviously it's consolidated much tighter. The new recoil patterns do have a little bit more bounce side to side. You can see it's not as tight as it goes up, but overall the recoil doesn't look like significantly more, in my opinion. It is more, but it's not significantly more. And the same thing with both. So I think it'll be enough to maybe miss an extra couple bullets, but not so extreme. It's like where you miss a bullet and you're completely punished, that you're not going to be able to recover because it's so much bounce. So overall recoil, I don't think was touched a significant amount, but it was touched enough where you will notice and you will probably miss a couple extra shots, which tied in with the reduced damage, you're probably going to have a much slower time to kill than using a weapon like the Kilo. So that's probably going to be 100% the main go-to. Obviously, some people are still on the AMAX. Some people still use the M4. And some people like the M13. But overall, I think most people are going to be jumping a little bit further away from the Bruen to even try the PKM. Because as we saw, the damage on that is way more broken than what we saw with the Bruen. Let's go ahead and take a look at the ISO. So this was my testing. I checked the overall distance for it to travel the ISO from this end of Grasna Ray to the wall, which is approximately 76 meters. When we do that, we end up with 16.6, which gives us a speed of 4.57 meters per second. And that compares to the original, which is 4.86 meters per second, which I know that's a bunch of numbers. And before this update, you were getting a 10% penalty on movement speed when you equip the heaviest mag, which is a 50 round mag or the drum mag. Now it's about 6%. So you're not getting penalized quite nearly as much. Enough to probably notice, but not so much that you're like, I'm not going to use that weapon as an SMG. It just doesn't work. Now let's go and talk about the ADS speed. So the base aim down sight speed for the ISO is 196 milliseconds. What I was able to test as the new one with this mag extended, which before it used to be like 238 milliseconds, 238 milliseconds was the aim down sight time. Now it's right around 217 to 234, so somewhere in there. So let's say 225, 222, split the difference. So they buffed it by about 1 frame faster, it looks like. So you're not going to get hurt quite as much, because with extending that mag before, again with the movement, you're putting yourself at a huge disadvantage. So those are the main two changes. Does this mean that all of a sudden the ISO's meta? No, it just means that it's kind of more even with the P90. So wherever you rank the P90 in your SMGs as far as Warzone goes, that's kind of where the ISO fits. And then obviously better than that is typically going to be the MP7 as well as the MP5. So that's pretty much it. Those are the two changes that came through today. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the video, learned something new. If you did, please remember to hit that like button. Brand new, want to find your way back for more Call of Duty content, make sure you are subscribed with notifications on. Quick reminder, again, Gfuel code is discounted 30% off all the way until the 21st, which is by the end of tomorrow. Appreciate all the support on the channel. Thank you for watching. As always, have a great day.